All right, let's dive in. Today we are looking at a really fascinating framework from PHOENIX SANCTUM that might just flip the script on how you think about wellness. It challenges all those common metaphors we use for being sick. And honestly, once you see it this way, you might not be able to unsee it.
You know, think about how we talk. We fight a cold, we attack a virus, we battle an illness. It's all this language of war, right? But this framework starts with a pretty profound question. What if that's not what's happening at all? What if our body is doing something else, something much more intelligent?
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got the conventional view we all know, the body under attack. But on the other, there's this informational view, which suggests something totally different, the body in communication. See the shift? It's not a war zone. It's a dynamic, living system that's constantly in a conversation.
So, if it's not a battle but a conversation, what exactly is the language being spoken? Well, this leads us to the core idea of this whole framework, that life itself isn't just a bunch of mechanical parts. It's fundamentally informational.
Here's the key takeaway. Living systems, that's you, me, all of us, are constantly interpreting, exchanging, and literally embodying information. I mean, think about it. A stressful thought, which is just pure information, can make your heart race. That is your body physically embodying information. It's happening all the time. It's a continuous dynamic dialogue.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because we're redefining a major player in the story. This framework uses the term biological information packet, or BIP for short. And this category includes things we might normally just call a virus. But here's the twist. Instead of being inherently hostile attackers, they're seen as carriers of information. So think of them less like an invader and more like a message that's being delivered.
Okay, so if these BIPs are like messages, then what does that make our symptoms? The cough, the fever, the fatigue. This is where everything we thought we knew about feeling unwell gets turned on its head.
And this is the money shot right here. What we call a viral episode is reframed as an informational update. Your body isn't broken, it's not failing, it is actively, intelligently, and purposefully processing new information that it's received. It's an upgrade in progress. So, what does this processing actually look like? Let's use a simple example. Step 1. Arrival. Your body encounters a new biological information packet. Step 2. Integration. This is key. Your system goes, whoa, new info, and prioritizes decoding it. That's when you might feel tired or achy. And finally, step 3. Clearance. This is your body basically doing a cleanup, getting rid of old patterns and residues it doesn't need anymore. That lingering cough? That's the tail end of the update process.
But of course, we've all seen it. Two people get exposed to the same thing, and one gets knocked flat while the other barely notices. Why? Well, this framework explains it by looking at your system's individual capacity, which comes down to two big factors, something called bandwidth and another called terrain coherence.
Let's talk about bandwidth first. It's a perfect analogy, really. Just like your Wi-Fi, your body has a certain capacity to download and process data. Your biological bandwidth is your ability to take in new information, decode it, and integrate it, all without your system getting totally overwhelmed and crashing.
And you can see right here what a huge difference it makes. If your bandwidth is low, you might get hit with really intense symptoms, and it could take forever to recover from that informational update. But if you have high bandwidth, the symptoms might be super mild, or you might not feel anything at all, and you bounce right back to normal. It really is all about that processing capacity.
Okay, the second big factor is terrain coherence. So if bandwidth is your processing speed, you can think of terrain coherence as the quality of your internal operating system. It's about how much order, harmony, and receptivity there is inside your body's informational environment.
So, a coherent terrain, it just processes these updates smoothly with very little disruption. It's like a calm flowing river. But a chaotic terrain, one that's messed up by chronic stress, bad food, no sleep, that's more like a turbulent storm. It's way more likely to misinterpret signals, overreact, and get stuck in these frustrating loops of chronic symptoms.
When you look at it this way, the whole goal of wellness just changes completely. It stops being about fighting an enemy and it becomes all about supporting your system's incredible innate intelligence.
And that support, it begins by asking way better questions. Instead of what do I need to kill, the questions become, what information is my body processing right now? How's my bandwidth looking? How coherent is my internal terrain? It's a total shift in focus to understanding and supporting the process. So where do things like resonance-based tools like Spooky 2 fit in? Well, in this informational model, they're not seen as treatments that attack anything, not at all. The intention is all about support. For example, you might use them to support coherence in a specific region, or to gently encourage the body to finish that detox phase. It's about helping the system let go of old patterns and promoting a calmer state. You're just creating better conditions for the body to do its own amazing work.
And this quote just wraps up the whole philosophy beautifully, doesn't it? The goal is to see ourselves not as fragile machines that are always breaking down, but as these incredibly intelligent, adaptive systems that are in a constant, continuous conversation with life itself.
So, the next time you're feeling under the weather, maybe you can just pause and ask yourself this one question. Is my body broken, or is it learning? Is it failing me, or is it intelligently processing an update so it can adapt and grow? It's a simple shift in perspective, but man, it can change absolutely everything.